All right. Right, folks, we're back. We're taking more testimony on S56, an act relating to creating the Office of New Americans, excuse me. We got a couple of people, a couple of agencies, offices that are going to speak to their perspective on the bill. I guess we would start by inviting Deputy Secretary Hibbert up.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Good to see you again.
Thank you for having me. It feels like it's been a little while and I missed you guys.
Same.
For the record, my name is Lauren Hibbert. I am the Deputy Secretary of State. It's a pleasure to be with you. The Vermont Secretary of State's office supports this bill, S56, and specifically the formation of a study committee about creating an office for new Americans. The original bill did not include all of the Secretary of State's office as a consulting party, only the Office of Professional Regulation, which was an appropriate designation because we do license quite a few new Americans. We really strive to ensure that if you had a career, a professional career in a different country and you move here and become naturalized, that we can ensure that you have a pathway to have professional licensure here. But we asked that the Office of Professional Regulation be removed and that the entire Secretary of State's office be included because we work with new Americans in a wide variety of ways. So many new Americans set up businesses through our Business Services Division. Obviously, many new Americans register to vote when they become naturalized, and we need to make sure that our voter outreach materials are appropriate for new Americans. We're very proud in that we've attended every naturalization ceremony since Sarah was sworn in, since the Secretary was sworn in. Either she or I go to every single one. And if anyone hasn't gone to one, I highly recommend it. It's a very, very touching thing to do. We also provide vital records and certified copies of vital records. This has become really an essential service for new Americans, particularly those who were not born in this country, but their children were. And so we've had a very large uptick of documents related to birth and marriage for new Americans in the last several months, almost double our normal records requests. And as I mentioned, we're extremely dedicated to reducing barriers for new Americans to obtain a professional license here. So we are excited to be a consulting party. And while we have a lot of room for improvement, we do our best to serve new Americans who are Vermonters as best we can. And we're excited to contemplate that there would be an Office of New Americans because it's hard sometimes to know what the best practices are or what is required. And I'm hopeful that as part of the conversation with the Office of New Americans, we talk about the funding and resources available to state agencies. There is a lot of work and financial resources that need to be expended in order to do this work really well. Translation, in order to do it well, it's not a ChatGPT function. And knowing the appropriate term, the appropriate terms and the appropriate way to communicate, not only with language, but tone. Not all people of this world see government the way that Americans see government. Not all people trust government. I'm hopeful that we can continue to maintain our trust in government as Americans. But new Americans, many of them are distrustful of government. So we need to think of more creative, more innovative ways to reach out to communities. It's hard sometimes to know who to contact and how to do that work. So I'm really excited that there's the contemplation of an office that would help state agencies do that. I think we need that in order to do this work well. And we're really committed to doing it as best we can. So thank you. We support this bill. We have no amendments to this bill because we made our amendment on the Senate side and we support its passage as written.
Oh, thank you. And to that final point, we've done a fair amount of testimony on this so far, and everybody seems to be pretty content with the words on the page. which is always kind of this unique place to be in when, you know, one bill moves over from the chamber and vice versa, that we are finding
If
everything.
only all the bills could be that way.
I know, that's kind of what I was leading into at this point, right?
It would be boring. It would be boring.
But, you know, find it. Does anybody have any questions for Deputy Secretary? No?
Thank you so much for having
Thank you
me.
for your time. Yep. And we had Executive Director Davis from the Office of Racial Equity as our next witness, but don't see her here, so I will skip over to the Treasurer's Office. Ashlyn, how are you?
Good morning. I'm well, thank you.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, thanks. Nice to be back on a bill that I think that there's a lot of consensus around. So, good morning, everyone. For the record, my name is Ashlyn Doyen. I'm the Director of Policy in the State Treasurer's Office. Treasurer Pichek wishes that he could have been in person today to express his support for this bill. But instead, if it's okay, I'll just read a couple of sentiments from him for the record.
Please.
He writes, I'm writing today to express my strong support for Bill S56, an act relating to creating an Office of New Americans, which has bipartisan support. Following the actions of many other states, the study contemplated by this bill would evaluate existing data, services, needs, and efficiencies to be gained by establishing one central coordinating office for New Americans in Vermont. The bill represents a significant and rare opportunity to grow our economy and provide services more efficiently. To address our demographic challenges and keep our economy on a positive track, we must grow our workforce. To do that efficiently and effectively, we should consider following the path of nearly 20 other U.S. states, including Maine in 2023, and explore establishing an Office of New Americans able to help facilitate integration, employment, service delivery, and state-level interaction. In addition, I also want to highlight the endorsement of S56 by the Task Force on the Federal Transition, anticipating that various changes in policy or posture at the federal level could create impacts and uncertainty in the Vermont economy. Our office organized a cross-sector task force to create new capacity to respond or improve coordination on topics with bearing on the Treasurer's core responsibilities. The task force has been providing advice about federal policy and ensuing legal challenges at the federal level and the opportunities or challenges they create for the Vermont economy, future state fiscal or financial policy, and for Vermonters' households and businesses. Consistent with that focus, the task force has identified and endorsed the creation of an Office of New Americans as an important and timely step Vermont could take to improve our workforce position. We also have no suggested amendments to the bill and urge that you pass it.
Okay. Anything for Annie? No. Okay, no, thank you. Should Director Davis pop in the next few minutes, we'll certainly ask her to sit in the chair and offer some feedback. But I guess committee will just like open this up for discussion real quickly. I'm taking a look at our planning for next week. And as of now, we have this scheduled for potential markup, but it's not looking like we're gonna be changing anything. If I'm seeing that as a consensus from the table? Yep. Great. Okay, cool. So we are scheduling this for a vote. I guess we could change that to a vote definitively unless we hear other feedback from stakeholders or members. Wednesday morning, 9:30. Oh, Monday morning, okay. Yep.
Which morning? I didn't hear.
Wednesday.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Until the 30th, VL.
And VL, if you still have your family scenario to deal with, that's more than okay. I mean, this is nothing within this is contentious. So if you can't make the vote, it's totally understandable. All right, so I guess that's kind of closing the loop on this one. I can't remember the last time we took a look at a bill from the Senate, really, other than maybe a charter. Didn't mess with anything.
It seems like across the board, everyone's really supportive of it and recognizes the necessity. Right. To at least do a study. to
Correct.
See what happens next.
So question, since I'm still learning this whole process, can't get it to my head. So once we vote it out, then do we present it to the floor for the floor to vote?
So
Does it go back?
this probably has to go to appropriations. I would assume that this group, there's probably, with the amount of bodies, I think I counted 13 people being engaged, some of her. Let's see, director of the governor appointees, there's probably some like stipends or per diems in here, but this is a very
So we're
light,
going to
yeah,
Yeah, there is.
yeah. What's that?
And then it would come to the floor,
After
You,
appropriations, yeah.
do a floor report, say that we concur with the Senate, and then it would go to the governor.
So
Assuming that
we're not, if appropriations changes anything, they would have to kick over to the Senate for them to approve.
appropriations which are sent back to us.
Yes.
No,
If they were to
no.
amend their, we would have to take
We'd
a
do a straw
position
poll.
on their.
So who presents it? They do?
No, well, somebody from their committee will present, if, yeah, what they did or didn't do.
And if I remember correctly, you were
Present it for us.
correct.
It would present
Yes.
to us, yeah, that's what's making sure that we would be the presenters.
Yep, so no questions on.
So that's the path we're on right now with this. We would vote it out. I assume it goes to appropriations for like a quick minute. But low impact. I'll notify Representative Shy that this will be on heading her way next week, but it's not a big monetary impact. All right. Anything else from anyone else? If not, we'll peel off and reconvene. Let's see, this afternoon. You have the youth council coming in.
Yeah, that's always a nice visit.
Yep. And then we also have some folks from the National Guard coming in this afternoon after that to discuss this bill a little bit further, but I anticipate only hearing further support on it. So